Mac Jones and this Alabama offense, the Tide rolled today and beat the Georgia Bulldogs 24-41. The number 3 versus 2 game, Alabama dominated here at the end of the game. Georgia was winning at halftime in this game, and this is just been a rough day for the people of Georgia. First, the Braves losing Game 6 and the Dodgers forcing Game 7 for Atlanta. And then the Georgia Bulldogs just lose to the number 2 Alabama Crimson Tide. Shout out to the great people of Georgia. They love this channel. You people down in Georgia watch our games, our videos all the time and everything. So we are very appreciative of you. Shout out to the great people of Georgia in the great state of Georgia. You guys are awesome. But Alabama, if you're an Alabama fan right now and you've had a good day, which I'm guessing you have, do me a favor and hit that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't already down below, because celebrate this win. Just celebrate this win. You guys just had an outstanding win against an outstanding offense. That is absolutely huge for you guys moving forward, and you guys are the only undefeated team in the SEC right now. How crazy is that to think? I thought Florida would definitely be undefeated by now. Still, LSU for sure. I did not think that LSU was going to drop to Missouri and Mississippi State, but actually LSU and Florida were supposed to play. So I thought that we were going to have 2 unbeatens playing in this week, this blockbuster week. Obviously, the Florida LSU game gets canceled due to COVID, but we still have the Alabama-Georgia game. It did not disappoint in the first half. The first half was amazing. Georgia was winning going into halftime. They were up 24-20, I'm pretty sure the score was, and we had a pretty good ball game. Both quarterbacks were playing well. Outside of the first drives of the game, both of the drives, first drive for each team ended in an interception, just a pass deflect to a defensive lineman, or I think it was LeCount who got the interception for Georgia off of that deflection, and then it was a defensive lineman for Alabama there. So first half, amazing. Both really good quarterback play by both teams. You saw Alabama's defense definitely take a step up from what they went up against Ole Miss. That was not a very good performance by them last week, but they definitely stepped it up for this game. Georgia's defense, I thought that they were going to be firing all game, especially after that first drive, getting the interception. It just did not happen. Georgia's defense wasn't doing as good as I expected, and Alabama's defense did way better than I expected. It was kind of flip-flop there. This game all comes down to the second half. Alabama scores 21 points in the second half, and Georgia scores nothing. Stetson Bennett throws 2 interceptions in the second half, and all the rest were punts. They didn't even put up a single point. They had a missed field goal in that second half, but other than that, they had no other chances for points. That's what it all really comes down to. Let's take a look at some of the stats in this game. Stetson Bennett threw 18 for 40, 269 yards, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions. It was an okay game. Obviously, 3 interceptions is never what you want to see from your quarterback, but 2 touchdowns, and he was able to get the ball where it needed to be in the first half especially. He was moving the ball downfield. He was getting the ball into his hands of his playmakers and everything. So first half, Stetson Bennett, I'd say, was pretty good. Second half definitely needs some work, but I still don't see him getting pulled for next game. I think that he's still going to be in. Mac Jones goes 24 for 32, 417 yards, 4 TDs, 1 interception, and that 1 interception was just a pass deflect. Other than that, after that first drive, Mac Jones was pretty lights out for the rest of the game. Very good at getting the ball to his receivers. Let's go through some of the receiving stats. Devontae Smith, 11 receptions, 167 yards for 2 touchdowns. This Alabama is always stacked with receivers. It's never fair. You are going to need some really good secondary if you want to beat Alabama. And Georgia did. I thought Georgia really did. I thought they had the defense to go up against this Alabama offense, but they just could not squeeze it out. Jalen Waddle, 6 receptions for 161 yards for 1 touchdown. And John Mechie, the guy from Canada, where I'm from, he's from Brampton, Ontario. That's about 45 minutes for where I live, so definitely shout out to him and all you others Canadians who love college football. He went for 3 receptions, 50 yards, and 1 touchdown. He caught the first touchdown of the game. Deep ball by Mac Jones to the end zone. That was great to see him get in there. Rushing for Alabama, Najee Harris went for 152 yards for 31 carries and 1 touchdown. Other than that, Brian Robinson only had 7 carries for 20 yards. Zamir White for Georgia had 10 carries for 57 yards. And then it was Kendall Milton, 6 carries for 44 yards. Other than that, Zamir White was the only one who had a rushing touchdown. James Cook had 5 carries for 16 yards, but he did have a receiving touchdown. He was the receiving leader for the Georgia Bulldogs. He had 4 receptions for 101 yards and 1 touchdown. After that, it was Jermaine Burton, who had 4 receptions for 58 yards, and he had 1 touchdown. Pickens then follows with 5 receptions, 53 yards, and then Keiris Jackson, who was, I'm pretty sure, the leading receiver for the Bulldogs going into this game, only had 2 receptions for 23 yards. So stat-wise, Alabama, you could definitely see that their receivers and their running back, Najee Harris, had the more stat-padded game, especially going into that second half. That's where really those guys broke out, especially Devontae Smith. They really started to push the ball into his hands in that second half, and that's what really took this game to another level and just got this Alabama offense rolling and just took over the game. And then this Alabama defense definitely stepped up today, getting 3 interceptions. Malachi Moore, Daniel Wright, and Justin, I'm going to say this wrong, Ibogi. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Alabama fans. I definitely botched that. But you know what? You guys won the game. Just ignore it. 3 interceptions for Alabama. That was huge for them. And they actually started getting pressure on the quarterback. They were making Stetson Bennett scramble and everything. He was getting sacked a lot and everything. That was really what, if you're an Alabama fan, that is what you wanted to see, because after Ole Miss, you just saw a passing attack that absolutely destroyed you, and their running game, everything about Ole Miss destroyed Alabama's defense last week. So coming out here, seeing some pressure on the quarterback and seeing some really good coverage, I think that's also a very key piece about this, is the coverage that Alabama was able to have downfield in that second half, just taking away so many of their top receivers and everything and forcing really tight covered throws, which sometimes led to interceptions and everything, was really a key factor in this game for Alabama. So overall, Alabama's defense played really good. Let's go into some team stats in this game. Third down efficiency, Georgia went 7 for 16. Alabama goes 6 for 11. Total yards, Georgia had 414 and Alabama had 564. Other than that, the turnover ratio was 3 for Georgia and 1 for Alabama. That's a huge part of this game because Alabama was really able to get some momentum from those 2 turnovers after in the second half and everything. Huge factor. And Alabama had possession of the ball a lot longer than Georgia did. Georgia had it for 26 minutes about, and then Alabama had it for like 34 minutes. So that right there, having the ball in your hands and be able to milk the clock and get some really good drives going was key for Alabama in this game. Next week, Alabama goes to Tennessee. I would definitely not write this off as a win if I was an Alabama fan, because the SEC is so inconsistent right now. Kentucky absolutely slaps Tennessee. My Gamecocks today beat Auburn, so that's something that Alabama and Georgia fans can be happy about. Just everyone, Arkansas, who'd they beat? Arkansas goes out and beats, who am I missing? Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank here? Arkansas beat Ole Miss today. That was a great win for them. The SEC is just so inconsistent right now that I don't know what to think. I don't know who to pick for next week. We only have 4 games, I'm pretty sure, next week. I just don't know who to pick for these games. Like, we have Auburn, Ole Miss, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, and then South Carolina, LSU. So Georgia has a bye week next week. I'm taking Alabama in this game, but I definitely would not write this off as a win straight off the bat, even though Tennessee just came off of a really bad loss. Everything seeming to favor the home team right now in terms of how these SEC games are going. So definitely watch out for that next week. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you love college football as much as I do, definitely go hit that sub button down below. Hit that like button. Comment anything about college football. And thank you for watching, and come back next time.